Okay. Where is Chunk's sheet? There it is.
Yeah, I gotta pull up Rowan.
Yep, take your time.
Oh. Now I need to double check this, see if.
If you
Lando.
haven't updated it, you don't get to update it in the game.
Well, I don't think that I level up anyways.
Okay.
So I'm just double checking. There.
Got him.
Yeah, no. I will go ahead and update the XP.
And this is aboard the Kel Dragon, which is flying alongside the capital ship known as the Whispers of Hope. There's a collection of small snub fighters that are all in a cloud of this miniature fleet that you now have. Take it away, Dragon.
I'm waiting for everyone to get out their character sheets. We're going to need Ortug. We're going to need Lando.
Yeah, we're in your time. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. All right. I'm not prepared for that. All right.
Surprise.
I haven't heard from Lando yet, so.
I got my sheet.
Okay.
I have Junk's XP totaled. Not close enough for a level up, so nothing changes.
Are they gonna interrogate me?
Who, Ortug?
No,
No,
you're a pig right now.
Well, no, like the rabbit. Are they gonna?
Oh.
Thorblin? Are they gonna interrogate him?
Something else is happening. Something else is happening. These are two cutscenes that are happening right now, and this is the first one. Dragon,
Okay.
you're on.
Okay.
So, all of you are gathered into a room. Before you is the display. There stands Danny Pangesu. And excitedly, when everyone's in the room and gathered, she turns to you.
Okay, here's what the situation is. And there's an overlay because it's a split screen. And what you generally have is a layout of multiple floors, and it flips through them. The problem is one of these maps has extra rooms. The other one does not. We retrieved, she says, two maps. Two maps from the Star Destroyer, as you know. One of them turned out to be different than the other one, and they both have different dates. We don't know what the correct layout of this prison is, but through our contacts, we have found out exactly what the system is. The system's name is Orinakra. Orinakra does not appear on any star charts, so we're going to be flying in there blind. The only thing that we know for certain from a distance is that it is a red dwarf star with one and only one planet. We also know, strangely enough, that there is no Imperial traffic in that system. There are no satellites. There's no air traffic control. Nothing. It's as if this place doesn't exist, and they don't want it to exist. And that's why we're going there. I'm going to help get my partner out, and we're going to rescue the heroes of the pit, or at least give them a chance. Any questions so far?
Yeah,
There's
which of the maps came from the officer, the data chip, and which came from the computer? Because the officer might have had a phony map.
You're talking about Jen Nix?
Yes.
Yeah, the captain, Jen Nix. She had this one, and she points with a little pointer, a physical pointer, into the hologram, which buzzes for a little bit as she touches it, and it's the one on the right with no extra rooms.
Yeah, I think they had they did, just in case they failed, they gave us an edited map on Jim Nix.
I think the same thing. The older one, the one with the older date over here, has extra rooms that aren't present on the data card that the captain had. I think that in a mad dash to confuse us, that they gave us two different maps. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's correct. I think we'll keep both the maps, but I think the one with the extra rooms is the updated map, the
Well,
current map.
Here's something else that's very interesting. She zooms in on one of the maps. You see this room over here? There's no door. Here, she scrolls it across. Over here, there's no door either. These rooms were sealed up. I don't know, to have their doors removed afterward, but have the room remain? It doesn't make
Uh,
any sense.
So, could considering that one is an older date, the one with extra rooms, then perhaps that the rooms do exist, but they are sealed off. So technically, both maps are correct.
It's possible. Let me think. She taps a few keys, and then the rooms are isolated. And now you see a pattern. The rooms look like they were part of a corridor before, but the new pattern of the prison crept in and overwhelmed the original design. Do you see that? Look, this is on the other level too.
Hmm.
This place is riddled with these things, these extra rooms. That may be of use to us.
So maybe we can, if need be, but bust through a room into a corridor. Corridor, maybe.
Yes, we might be able to make shortcuts, or they might be able to make shortcuts. We've only been told to attack the front part of the mission and not to go in the elevators. After all, we are the extraction team. If we can make it into the front area of the prison and attract as much attention as possible, it's going to be easier for the heroes of the pit to begin their escape. There is one problem, though. We don't know when to attack the prison. We don't know troop rotations. We don't know guard rotations. We don't know whether there is a resupply coming. We don't know any of that.
Uh,
So we're
uh,
going to just have to go in.
yeah, I was gonna ask about that. Because you said there's no imperial traffic that goes in and out. That then how do they get their supplies? Because even isolated, you will need supplies to keep going. Do they just send like a dead drop through hyperspace and
I
they
think
retrieve it on their end?
that's actually a good theory. We don't know for sure, but and she scrolls the map to its lowest right corner. And as she scrolls it, the regular rooms break up after a very large empty square into just jaggedness. These areas are open rock. This area is large enough to land the Kel Dragon should we need to. Well, not really land, more like hover it. I really don't
Right.
trust setting down there or leaving that ship behind. And standard procedure, at least how I run the Kel Dragon, is to make the drop and then return once the extraction is ready. That way, we don't get everything shot down at the same time.
Well, the extraction is just gonna be us, right?
Well, yes and no.
Because going off the assumption that they send an unmanned dead drop for supplies, we could enter the system with on low power to seem like we're a supply drop. Get, and that could give us a chance to get a jump on things.
Lando, you're the smuggler. What do you think?
I think my theory is their isolation. I believe they want to be off the grid
Oh.
because they're doing crimes against humanity here. I believe the conditions in the prison are terrible, and they don't want anybody to know about it. And plus, for other reasons, but that will be their greatest downfall because I think a full frontal assault and just smash and grab, they're not going to have reinforcements for a while.
I agree. Can we disguise the signature of the Kel Dragon to make it seem like it's a dead drop container? More like an escape pod.
I can try to do something like that, but without knowing what they're looking for, it's going to be hard to predict.
It would be to seem like a dead drop. We'd need to send very few signals out. Maybe at most some sort of tracking beacon, depending
Well,
on what things they have to track.
So that actually might be a good idea. It's a reverse of the track that the Empire likes to use a lot, using a tracking beacon. If we reverse that and broadcast ourselves as, say, an escape pod at first, and broadcast an Imperial IFF symbol, then they'll come to us, expecting
Hey,
supply.
Okay.
Danny, the Kill Dragon has a jamming suite.
Well, then all we need to do is to find the right codes for an IFF standard escape pod. In the center of you all.
You know that there's a jamming suite, and you know that there is a sensor array.
Where
So, in the center of you all, there is a holo table, and it lights up, and there's a different voice and a different face that ripples into view. It's a creature-looking face, a long muzzle with fur, and it speaks up. Well, maybe I can help with that. I'm kind of a partner of Danny Pangesu and one of the heroes of the pit. I need to introduce myself. My name's Jan. Jan Panesta Gorgia.
No, I'm
It's nice to meet
Yando.
you.
I'm
Yando.
Junk. Hi.
Hello. Well, formal introductions for later.
Or Tug the Invincible.
My organization can actually supply the codes you need. For an IFF escape pod, that's actually easy. And we can change the signature before we ever land. Danny says. That's probably a good part of the plan. As Jan is our main support in this particular mission from our benefactor, then we can attack the front part of the prison. We need to decide what to bring with us. Whether to bring just the Kill Dragon and disguise it, or to bring overwhelming force so that the people at the prison are clearly disrupted.
I think we'll do the supply plan, and once they take the bait and land the Kel Dragon there, then we come in with the Whispers of Hope and go overwhelming force while the attraction needs there.
The holographic figure in front of you fuzzes out and is replaced with the Mon Calamari captain. That sounds like an excellent idea. If there's no traffic in the system, it should be overwhelming force that they would not be able to repel.
Exactly.
Right.
And do we have any idea how many prisoners are in the in this prison right now? Maybe are they all friends of the Alliance, or are they? Is there some murders and stuff like that?
Jan comes back in and says, well, it doesn't really matter. A lot of these people that have fought against the Empire have a reason to fight against the Empire. Whether they're bad or not, we just need to pick out the heroes of the pit as they come to the landing zone. There's really only one way in and out of the prison, but it's going to be up to the heroes of the pit to make their way out. We can't take the risk of going in and being caught ourselves. So we can only go into the front section of the prison and hold things off and give the heroes time.
Okay.
And Jan kind of turns and looks and says, oh, sure, we could do that. My crewmate tells me that we can bring along some heavy torpedoes to do some real damage to the front of the prison?
Yeah,
I'm
the
not sure whether
Starfang's
that's
equipped
a
with
good
all
idea.
kinds of torpedoes.
Well, we don't want to use the Starfang. Danny Pangesu, she's right. We want to use the Kel Dragon. The Kel Dragon is faster. As soon as we
Okay.
get the Heroes of the Pit aboard, especially my partner, we will know where to go from there. So, you want us to fly cover with you and come with you? That would be good on standby. But if we draw too many forces into the system, that could draw some ugly Imperial attention. Perhaps 2 ships, no more. Rowan Lambda Iota speaks up. Well, that leaves one important thing then. When do we time this attack?
Give me a use the force check.
Ooh, this suddenly becomes super critical.
Don't forget either there, Rowan Lambda Iota. You don't have a lightsaber.
That's true. He doesn't. Come on, come on. That's a 26.
Nice.
That's enough. That's enough. What do I get? You gotta tell me. You gotta tell me the information now. Does the Force tell me when the Heroes of the when the Whispers of Hope can attack the prison?
Well, the force doesn't exactly tell you, as it gives you an interpretation.
So
It's not
Rowan
like it
says,
says. It's not like it says, "Hey, right now." No. What you realize is
it's
you get
almost
a.
like the DM's words have been turned up against him.
Mhm.
mm, so
You get a sense
Rowan
that
stands
Reddy is
up.
dying and they need to go now.
Rowan stands up and he says to the crew, "Leave that to me. The Force will be our guide on when to launch the attack. There's a specific time when we need to, and it's not quite yet, but it will be soon. So we can move toward Oronakra right now. It's just a matter of timing. We need to stay above the planet until the time is right.
What
But
you
first,
feel
we
is
need
a
to fix the
pull
IFF.
toward the planet. That's what you feel. You feel a pull toward the planet. However, something says not right now in the back of your head. And that's all you know.
Rowan answers with, "Of course it's not now. We need to prepare the ship to disguise it, to draw the Imperial forces toward us, and then make the attack. As Danny says, if we're going to drop us there as a mercenary force to attack the front of the prison and to make our way toward the front of the prison, then the Kel Dragon will be free to make that initial attack." Danny says, "Well, our ship can too. And, well, my crewmate's involved with the Heroes of the Pit too, and has vested interest in making sure that they have a chance to escape. She's not letting me change course. It looks like we're coming with you whether you want us to or not. I'll send you the information on our ship."
Aiden
Alrighty.
speaks up and says, "The Whisper of Hope's going to have to stay outside the system."
Danny says, "I agree. It's much too risky, and I don't like the fact that a maximum security prison has absolutely no Imperial accompaniment. Something is very wrong there. I don't trust it."
Maybe
The
they're
ship
over cocky on their on being hidden.
There is something new for y'all to know. Aiden's hair has begun to gray.
Oh no.
Mm. And the ship that comes on the holovid, the little holo display, is no longer Jan's face, but it's a ship with an interesting shape. You may be able to recognize this on a significant roll if you choose.
Perception. Yeah, sure.
Or maybe pilot, something like that. If
Sure,
you give me the
overall
right skill
pilot.
logic of it.
I'm just playing
Hmm.
around, but
Plus,
Here's a perception check, question mark.
I already know what the ship is, but
22.
36.
And that's plenty. You recognize not only the ship, but its markings. Coming to assist you is the Astral Aurora.
Oh
Yeah, I
shit!
already knew that.
I didn't.
Well, does Lando know what the Astral Aurora is? Well, no, but
Nope.
he can learn
Nope.
about the
You
ship. I
guys
guess.
have no clue. You guys have no clue. But it's an E9 Explorer, so and it looks like it's been significantly modified.
She gave us an image of it at
It's a
one
nice ship.
time. Yeah.
It's a nice ship. And Rowan kind of paces around the little war room that you guys have created, and he says, "So we're only here as a distraction and as heavy firepower to draw the forces forward, so that these heroes of the pit can escape. How do we know that we're going to coordinate with them if we can't communicate?" And then he stops talking. Ah, I understand now. He falls silent and puts both of his arms over his robes. I understand now. I understand. This is why I've lost all these things. So that someone else, as he raises a smile, someone else gets to be the heroes. The Force will tell us when to attack. I know it. And he smiles. A lot more friendly with the Force than any of you. I know when to attack. We just have to await the signal. Some signal to say go. And that's all we'll need. I think that the heroes will be able to do the rest. And now, if you'll hand me, Dragon, can you hand me that back so that I can do the second cutscene?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, in the Orionacra system, two small points of light appear. While the Whispers of Hope ship, capital ship, stays behind, the two ships, the Astral Aurora and the Kel Dragon, pop into view, and they move toward a dim red star with a tiny speck circling around it. It gets larger and larger as your ship approaches. There is no resistance. There's no call to you. There's no request for landing. There's no request to even identify yourselves. One role that has to happen right now, though, is a mechanics check from Junk to see whether the IFF disguising at least the Kel Dragon as an Imperial escape pod actually works.
All right. Do. How you feel about a 38?
You feel very good about a 38. You're totally confident that your ship appears on scope completely, regardless of what its shape is, appears as an Imperial escape pod.
They're never gonna know what hit them.
As the atmosphere outside starts to turn from Starfield toward a darker shade, a different shade, the very faint aurora of atmosphere. The Kel Dragon, disguised, and the astral aurora start to drop toward the planet. The planet's surface begins to reveal itself, arid, completely devoid of water. And it looks like the entire planet's surface is steamed, cut into pieces, and glued back together. Many of these pieces are hexagonal shaped and rise in giant cliff spires at different heights to each other. There's no curvature on any part of this planet whatsoever. It looks artificial, like nature itself manufactured this planet for the Empire to do its evils here. But then, off in the distance, is a darker shade, not the rusty light gray of most of the planet, but no, this is the dark slate blue of something mechanical, something built by the Empire. As the stars glint around both of these ships, in the dead middle of the night, Bingo, deep in his cell, right along with one of the Grand that's seated, lying right next to Double Zed, both of them rise up suddenly. A second or two passes. There is a click. Rowan leaps up from where he's standing. Now! Fire now! But there's already a ship ahead of you. Somehow, someone aboard the Astral Aurora has sensed the moment, independent of Rowan Lambda, as the programmed form, fused into every circuit of the ship, of a droid once known as R053, launches a barrage of proton torpedoes toward the Imperial Detention Center. As soon as the click happens, the entire prison shakes and all of the lights go out. Now, since over time the heroes of the pit have attacked the guards one by one, they are all transferred to the high security cells. All of these cells open at the same time. And just outside the cell, as the lights flicker, you all have free reign to go into the first corridor, lit underneath by red emergency lamps through the grated floor, except for one. Well, two, actually. Ami Fasalo, you've spent a few days in this isolation cell, and you know that there's a welded seam in one side of your cell and a heavy bolt holding it together. So you know, even before you step into this corridor, there is potentially another way out. And Draven Cracks, you're the other one that has an anomaly rather than simply stepping out into the hallway. To your surprise, standing directly across from you, stunned that the door has popped open as you slowly come into view, lit underneath in red. He is too, but he smiles. Sergeant KBR Oeston. And that is where we end
You
session
son of a bitch.
77.
Oh.